Finally, after a very long time, I'm going to take you with me into the gym once again. Thing is, as you can tell by my voice, I'm once again a little bit under the weather. It's becoming a running joke, isn't it? Yeah, it is. Anyway, the thing is, I felt it already like 2 days ago, and then I decided to start my mini cut. In the first day and the first session of the mini cut, I didn't really feel any kind of pumps. I had a hard time connecting with my back musculature, so I did a pull session. And then I actually reached out to Steve, asking like, okay, mate, do you think that I should rather take a prana phase? It has been a very long time since my last prana phase. What do you think about the symptoms that I'm experiencing right now? Because I'm too emotionally invested once again to make a proper decision now, because I already set in my head, and this is just me and who I am, that when I decide to do something, I'm totally fixated on that. Even if it's not the best idea, or it turns out not to be the best idea. So in that instance, it was just like I made up my mind, said like, okay, mini cut is the way to go. So I decided to actually give it a go. Then that session happened, and all of a sudden everything changed. And I said like, okay, I will give the second training session of the day then another try. Went in there, did the push session, and same thing happened. It was better than the pull session though, but still, it was a little bit off. And in the midst of the night, so the past couple of nights, I could feel something tingling in my throat. And yesterday night, actually, it turned out that I woke up in the middle of the night with a stuffed nose. I couldn't really breathe properly, and I couldn't tell that my throat is actually getting iffy as well. And yeah, here we are now. I think it's the better choice then overall, with everything that I'm experiencing right now, to take the prana phase after all, even though that I decided to take the mini cut. Probably going to do a shorter prana phase up until the point where I'm feeling absolutely ready again, like from a health perspective. And yeah, I think it's the best choice now moving forward. And today we're going to squat. And yesterday I've done bench already, after also here, I think over a year not having properly doing a normal typical bench. The same goes for something like the squat, and same goes for something like the deadlifts, which I'm going to incorporate here in the prana phase. And I'm very much looking forward to that squatting session here today, and I'm going to take it with me to fully disclose everything, how freaking weak I have become and gotten in the back squats just from not doing it in over a year. So this is going to be exciting and also fun, and probably quite disappointing as well. So let's go. Been a long time ever since I've used that belt, and as you can see, the notches here, it has been always switching back and forth, right? It was on the lowest I've ever, no, not really. There was a little bit at some point where I used this one here. But yeah, probably I have to move it up now after 6 months of a gaining phase. Just tried it on, sits way too tightly. So probably have to put it up to either this one here or this one, this hole. Depends on it. And then I will give it a try. I am, to be honest, ever since I switched over to bodybuilding, I came to realize that like I'm actually doing better without a belt. But today I just wanted to give it a try for those heavy squats, and then make a decision on whether I want to carry on with the belt or without one. You guys know what time it is. Coffee time as always. Man, how I don't miss the powerlifting days. So I have a belt with me, the squatting shoes with me, some just like sliders with me, so in case I don't need my weightlifting shoes anymore. And yeah, just all of the equipment. And I had, in the past, I had so much more. I had the slingshots as well, then my wrist wraps, all that stuff, right? Which in reality, is it something that you really need? Yeah, for competition maybe, and you want to train, of course, the way you train in competition, but man, I'm happy that I don't need to carry that stuff like all the time with me. That is just like for certain occasions. Normally I just have this bag and there's like a towel, some keys maybe, and that's it. So let's go. First squat in over a year now, and it was rusty. Felt weird. Also foot positioning, need to figure that one out and all that kind of stuff. Felt weird, but 140 kilograms for 6, it's alright. It's alright. Far away from the best, but it's alright. I've completely forgotten how hard squats actually are. So I've done 5 sets, 4 to 6 repetitions. Actually, with subsequent sets, it got better and better. But man, it's hard. It's hard, especially if you're coming from a hypertrophy block. So yeah, here we are now, finishing squats now, going over to lunges, then doing some hamstring because I had to schedule everything here today and set everything up. So I'm a little bit out of my running order for exercises. So next time I'm back on track when it comes to that. Unfortunately, the seated leg curl machine is occupied at the moment, and I have to switch over to the single leg curl machine, and I don't know if that's feasible for something like prima facie in the lower repetition ranges of 6 to 10. I already think that leg curls in the 6 to 10 repetition range aren't really that productive, and that's why I was hoping for the seated ones or the lying one, but the seated one is occupied, lying is not available here, so I switch over to the single one and let's see whether it works or not. Much better than anticipated. Actually went into the 13 repetitions, which wasn't the plan. Still too light, going up in 5 kilograms now for the second set, only doing 2 sets, and that is the first week of the plan. It's absolutely all right. I felt it in the hamstrings, which is a good sign, so it works. ab training. With shitty abs such as mine, you can't neglect the abs, even in a prana phase. It's not mandatory to train the abs in the prana phase, but someone like me, I guess I have to do it. This bag is too full. Finished now the training session. Even though that I needed to wing it somewhat, it was actually a good session. Man, squats are killer. Yeah, now heading home. Gonna do can you guess it? Of course, a steak. Going outside with a sweaty shirt in the midst of October. It's freezing cold with the wind, as you can see, and here. It's not the best of an idea. Fuck, especially when you are already a little bit under the weather anyway. Hallelujah. That's my music. Basically what I'm always listening to when I'm on my way to the gym and back home again. Mom music. Oh, what the fuck, wurde während des Krieges Großbritannien. Just finished my steak and the salad, of course, and yeah, here we are now, first day of the prana phase, and once again I decided to take a prana phase due to several reasons. First and foremost, because I didn't really feel the pump in the first session of the mesocycle, which indicates to me that perhaps it was about time to actually do something like a low volume phase, because I really pushed it super hard over the past couple of months now. It was such a productive off season so far. Like, honestly, can't stress it enough. This off season has been the best by a long shot. And now I'm entering into a shorter prana phase until the point where I'm feeling better again. And that also aligns with my private life as well. So in the midst of November, Tony is going to actually the kindergarten, and this is where I have to take care of him as well in the introductory process. That's why I probably can't really train like twice daily on those days. So I will probably schedule like this, that on that week it's a deload or so. So perhaps it's going to end up being like a 3 or 4 week prana phase. I'm going to have to look at the calendar and match it accordingly. But this is where things such as the prana phase come in very handy, not just from a training perspective, but also from a psychological perspective, and also from a private life perspective when there are certain things going on. I think the last proper prana phase that I've done was when Tony was born, which is now over 1 year and 3 months back. Like a proper prana phase. Nothing like active rest period or so, which I've done in between. And now, yeah, for me personally, I also felt the need from a psychological perspective in doing something like this, simply because I pushed it so hard and I've invested so much time and effort into the last month of my gaining phase that I felt the need of actually pulling back just a little bit, so that I'm not at the gym like twice daily for a long period of time, where always pushing the boundaries and limits. And now also it's a lovely change of pace in regards to the exercise selection. The things that I'm doing here today, I was squatting heavy, which I haven't done in over a year. I can't even recall the last time that I've squatted heavy, and then something like a competition bench, which I haven't done in a super long time as well. And then also deadlifting, stuff like that. Normally, I am someone who I could easily do the same program for the rest of my career. Like, honestly, this is how easy it is for me to repeat the same thing over and over and over again. I don't need change. Like, honestly, I strive off of routine. I strive off of the same structure, because that is predictable to me. This is something that I simply enjoy and like. So I'm not someone who needs to have lots of changes in the program every now and then. Here we are now though, because I pushed it so hard over the last month, I'm at a point where I'm also psychologically just a little bit drained, where I probably would need a longer deload, or now where the prama phase is coming in, just the prama phase, right? And we also know from the scientific literature, more and more evidence is coming out that something like a low volume phase or a maintenance phase or something that is still specific to the sport of resistance training and lifting, but something that is still different enough to what it is that you're doing. So for example, now you're doing something like powerlifting for like 4 weeks or a couple of months and then going back into hypertrophy training is probably even beneficial and will help you even make better progress, perhaps, right? But more and more evidence is coming out confirming just something like a prama phase even being beneficial overall. So yeah, guys, this is just my rationale behind why I'm doing the prama phase. Let me know whether you've tried a prama phase already or how you go about these kind of things once you're hitting a barrier in regards to the pumps, the training productivity, the psychological restraints and stuff like that. What it is that you're doing, strategies about it, whether you've tried a prama phase or what we term the prama phase. And yeah, let me know in the comment section below or over on the prama phase or over on the forum. But other than that, guys, thank you very much once again for tuning in, and I guess I'll speak to you very soon or next week probably.